Okay, so it's going to be my post-game Penn State Rutgers preview. I know it's a day late. I just wanted to give some thoughts after the game, but I wasn't quite able to. So, I'm doing it on Sunday. So Penn State was able to win 20-7 in a kind of lethargic, not a very good performance for Penn State. I know a win is a win, but you really can't come away with this and be very excited. They only won by 13. Rutgers is 1-10. They're the worst team in the Big Ten. They're not a very good team, but Penn State did look pretty good defensively. I think the disappointment was clearly on the offense, but they just could not get into any real rhythm. I think the line was saying about a 39-11 win. I think Penn State had a slow start. There was a point where it was 3-0. But then they got those 10 points right before half, and I think people were like, okay, slow start, but it's 13-0. I think most people were expecting Penn State, to come out, add on some more points, and maybe walk away with like a 34-7 victory. And, a game where, they get going towards the end, and it just really never happened. They got that one touchdown, they made it 20-0. Then they kind of allowed Rutgers to score that late touchdown to make it 20-7, but still, they just could not get much going at all offensively, and that's a problem moving forward for them. I think it's a little bit in between that they really did not get up for the game. They really didn't care for this game. It's Rutgers. They really weren't motivated. They didn't prepare that well. But at the same time, they're still not getting open. McSorley's still not hitting his guys. It's very evident right now that he's a little bit off right now. McSorley. He's not. The Wisconsin game was a good game, but other than that, whenever he has to go kind of mid range to longer passes, he's just off. He's not hitting his receivers. Another thing is he's not as mobile right now because of the injury, and that makes Penn State a lot more one dimensional. And that makes it harder for Sanders to run when teams used to be able to have to account for McSorley and Sanders. Now it's a little bit different. McSorley isn't as good at running, so it's a little bit harder for them to do stuff offensively. The good news is, though, that they do play Maryland next. Maryland, they are an inconsistent team. I think that if they can come out and they can play like how they have been, I think the line currently is about 13 or 14. I think they can come out and win the game and be 9-3, but they can't overlook them. And if they play like how they did yesterday, they're going to lose probably. But if they play like how they have been for the most of the year, they should be okay. But I was looking at these predictions, and a lot of people are picking like 42-10, 49-7. It's like, why do you think Penn State's going to score over 40? They have not been that good. I know they did it earlier on in the year, but they showed signs. Like in that Illinois game, a lot of those points they scored were late. Those weren't like, these points. Same thing with Pitt. So this team, and, Jawan Johnson, he's hurt or for whatever reason. They started Hamler, Dotson, Sullivan, Brown, and then Fryermuth as their main primary targets in the one tight end. They're all freshmen. How's that going to work? How do you think that's going to work? It's not working that well. And they're good players and they have some potential for freshmen, but they're just not up to the standard that they need to really be at. And if they're the ones that have to carry our team, our team's in trouble, and that's the problem. That really, no matter how you shape it, we're leaving points on the board in these games, in these last two games, but still, we don't score over 30, really, no matter how you twist it. You figure maybe we left 4 on the board by not getting a touchdown before half, and maybe we could have got 3 at the end without that fumble. But still, it's just, it's not good. But, they are rebuilding. Pretty much the whole offense is back next year as long as Sanders comes back, except McSorley. They got Stevens in his place. This offense should be a lot better next year. And the offense isn't horrible this year, but you see games like this and you just go, what are you doing? Same thing with Ricky Ronnie. Rutgers has a horrible running defense, and they really couldn't get a good running game, but they didn't really try it all that much, except for the last drive. And I understand it, but any other time they're trying to run McSorley all the time, and this time they didn't. I didn't really understand it. And they weren't able to get the running game going, and then the passing game was okay, but it wasn't really enough to get points that the people needed. But at the end of the day, Penn State came out, and they got the win. They're 8-3. Maybe they can make it 9-3 and still have a chance at maybe a top 10 finish, top 15, and a 10-win season. So that's the wrap. Peace out, guys.